feel like we've asked you throughout this whole season just about what you've learned, the challenges and the experience, but now that you are sort of at the end of it, and I imagine have had a little bit of a chance to reflect over the last month or so, just what have you learned? What have you taken away? And how would you sort of describe what I know has been a tough year?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've learned a lot, honestly. Not just myself, but the team, organization. I think everybody has learned a lot. The last month or however long it's been has been extremely tough for me, just because at the end of the day, like, I love basketball. You know what I mean, and I want to be out there and I want to go help, and no matter what the circumstance is. I learned a lot of different things. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot how to, dig yourself out of holes, and who to lean on, who you can, who you can't lean on, and it's all right, man. It happens. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel great, but it happens, and we had to move on with our lives.
Tyrese, how is the finger progressing, and do you anticipate any mutations going into summer?
It's actually progressing really good. I was just talking to Al, my trainer, about it a little bit, and he was just saying, like, I think I still need like probably off of it another month before I start doing any type of basketball stuff. I got to get the swelling to calm down and the pain to calm down, but it definitely does feel better. It sucks, man. It sucks because I know when I got hurt, when I heard it, the Brooklyn game, it just, like, I was like, man, you know what? I'm try anyway. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I tried the best I could, like 4 games. Then when I ramped up to try to come back, it swelled up really bad on me again. It's just like, it just sucks because at the end of the day, I love basketball. I want to be out there with my teammates no matter what the circumstance is. I mean, it's just basketball is a dream coming true to be able to step on this court. I don't want to take it. I never take it for granted. So,
Tyrese, this is a season of what was promised led to disappointment. What positives do you take away as this thing ends now?
This is going to sound bad, but the one positive that I do take away is the only way we can go from here is up. You know what I mean? Honestly. And then it's just like, it gives us something to build to. It's everybody in this room, no matter if they come back here, if you're not here, if you are here next year, you should have a different type of edge about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You should go into the summer with a lot to work on and a lot to prove, myself included. I mean, I know this season, at the beginning of the season, I didn't start it the way I wanted to. You know what I mean? Once I found my rhythm, I feel like I was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Right before I hurt my finger. But I definitely learned a lot. I feel like I progressed a lot. I saw a lot of defenses. I saw a lot of different coverages, late game situations. I have a lot of mental notes and a lot of notes written down that I'm going to go into the summer. And I'm going to get better at those things, and I feel like I'll come back even stronger.
Tyrese, you talk a lot about that idea of getting 1% better every day, and we talked to you many times about what your goals are off-season wise. Rarely do you have this much time to think about what your off-season is going to look like. So going into next year, what is it that you think you need to do this summer, skills you need to add, body improvement, whatever, to take another step next year?
So I looked at, like, since I've been out, I've looked at 2 things. I looked at the way I started the season and, like, the shots that I was taking, the responsibilities that I had, my assist numbers, all those different things. And I felt like at that time, there was no Joe, no Paul, and I feel like it was a lot of weight on my shoulders. I feel like once I let that weight go, and I told everybody once December hit around, I can't remember the exact date, but I found my joy back, and then I looked at that time period, from that time period all the way up to Brooklyn game when I got hurt. And honestly, the biggest thing was just me being at peace with myself, me being at peace with the game, me being at peace with, like, talking to guys and coaches and everything. And I do have a lot of mental notes of, like, the game, like, as far as my skills and stuff that I want to bring back or that I want to get better at. But that's neither here or there. And I talk about that next year when I have to sit up here again and talk in front of y'all after media day. So, but honestly, I think the biggest thing right now is I think we all need a mental break. You know what I'm saying? We need a mental break, mental reset, figure out what how this franchise moves forward from this. But again, I mean, the best thing I could possibly say is the best thing we could do is go up. You know what I mean? We can't go any further than this. So.
Paul was talking about how him and Joel all kind of talked about getting together this summer, hanging out, working out, things like that. How important is that for you guys in order to help build chemistry and things like that moving forward?
Yeah, it's extremely important, man. I said this at the beginning of the year, like at media day. I said, listen, right now we're just names on a paper, and that's a fact. You know what I mean? We got to see how it gets put together, how it doesn't get put together, who works with who doesn't work with who, and I mean, I don't think we ever really figured it out. We never really figured it out. I think hopefully everybody can get healthy. Everybody could be ready for the start of training camp next year or before that, whenever the case may be. Get guys together in the summertime, spend time with each other, and we try to hit the ground running, get a good start next year. And that's the things that we can try to plan on and try to use as goals moving forward.
And then you've known Joe the longest. You know anybody on this roster. Things like that. How tough was it to kind of see his season cut short after only like 19 games?
No, it sucked. It really did suck, man, because at the end of the day, Joe is somebody who really wants to be out there. So it's like to see him suffer, to see him like go out there and actually try, and he just couldn't be himself. You could tell, like you give him the ball sometimes, and you're like, me being here the longest, like you said, I've seen him do so many spectacular things, and I gave him the ball a couple times in moments where I think that he would do something, and I guess he just couldn't. It was limited. So hopefully that surgery went well and all that, and he gets back, to Joel Embiid that we know and love, and that honestly I hope it for him because it'll make him feel a lot better. And but doing all in all, he has been great this year though, as far as like being a teammate, being somebody who comes and just supports us, and I talk to him all the time, of course, and he really supported the team. And he tried his best to try to help in any type of way that he could.
How much is the uncertainty about the knee or about Joel's health going forward? Does that make you uneasy about the
Me?
future?
I
know.
listen. I don't. All I can do for Joel is pray. Honestly, let's just be honest. I can't. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything for him. I'm not a doctor, so like, all I can do is pray for him. And I don't have any uncertainty that I think. Well, my thing with Joel is he's gonna work extremely hard to get back. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna put the work in. So whatever the case may be, however his knee reacts, that's up to God. But I have the ultimate faith in Joel and working extremely hard to get back to who he was.
Tyrese, you
Last
mentioned
couple
Joel
questions.
coming into the room a lot, trying to be a good teammate. How odd has it been, especially sort of this last stretch of the season, in terms of camaraderie and keeping the room together when, like, at some point almost everyone who started the season together
Mm-hmm.
is not available? What's been the key to try to keep the team chemistry that you hope to roll over, or build team chemistry that you hope to roll over to next year?
I think the biggest thing is, man, like, and this is the first time I've ever been through something like this. Honestly, I can't sit here and say I prepared for this moment. I've never prepared for a moment like this. But my biggest thing is just trying to keep everybody positive. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it does suck. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all like, oh man, I'm happy, I'm smiling. I go home and I smile because we going home early. But the biggest thing is we play basketball for a living, and we have to really acknowledge that and be thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? Myself, I took a lot of criticism this year, and I appreciated it. You know what I'm saying, from everybody. And all it's going to do for me is make me better. I think I go have stuff to work on and get better at that, and I think everybody should do that as well. So
You mentioned that line you had in media day about the names on the paper, and obviously on paper this team is supposed to be competing for a championship, not the situation you guys are in. Do you still believe that ceiling exists? And if so, what beyond the health of you
Right.
guys needs to happen to get there?
right, well, number one, you got to be healthy, like you said. I think it's so underrated in today's game. Like, I just give you an example. Like the Knicks last season, they played the Pacers in the semis. If they're fully healthy, they may go to the conference final. You never know. It's just you never know, man. So that's number one name of the game. If you're healthy, you should always have a shot. And then the names on the paper, I mean, yeah, I mean it does have it looks nice. It does, and I think we've seen where our peaks can be in this year. It wasn't a lot of them, but there was some stretches where we all played and we looked really good. We found the right rotations. We knew who to get the ball to, when we need to get the ball to them. Everybody got shots. Everybody looked good, and so the sky's the limit. That's the thing that I can say. But the work has to be put in from day one, not from in the middle of the season. It has to be put in from today is our last game. Whenever everybody decides to start working out again, that's when our season for next year starts, individually and collectively. So, and it has to be taken serious, and I think we will take it serious. And I have the ultimate faith in the organization and the guys up top and my teammates to do that.
Last question.
obviously Joel was never good, never right physically. It just seemed like all year he wasn't right emotionally as well. I just wondered what, as somebody that knows him really well, what you saw this year from him.
Again, like I said, I saw Joel as, of course, it takes a toll on him because this last month, that however long it's been that I've been out, I had a conversation with my mom and my dad like 2 days ago, and my mom was just like, "Man, you haven't called and really like talked to them much." I'm like, it just sucks, man. Like, I just don't feel great right now. It's not a great feeling, but I'm gonna be okay. We'll be all right. But back to what you were saying about Joel, like it's difficult. It's really difficult, especially in his shoes where he wants to be out there and he wants to play, and his team is struggling, and he knows that he can help. And when he does get out there, he doesn't feel his best. You know what I'm saying? So it's very hard. It's very hard. And but I do commend him because he's been here. He's been around. He's talked. He talks to me all the time. He helps me all the time. He helps the team. He puts his 2 cents in, and we appreciate that. I mean, at the end of the day, Joel's a really bright mind, a very exceptional basketball player. I think he, a future Hall of Famer, MVP in this league. So we appreciate him, and we just gotta wish him well, pray for him, and hope that he can, I know he'll put the work in to be back to where he wants to be.
Going through a season like this, and it could go wrong, did go wrong. How much does a change of player, not so much the physical aspect of your battle, the game, but the mental aspect of the game?
It's a great question. Yeah, I mean, this game, what I've learned over my 10 years in this league is that, it's like 75%, well, it's like 50% physical, 50% mental. So finding that balance between the two is what makes a great professional, no matter what sport you play. And for me and for us, this team, it's just like, it's been a really hard teeter-totter throughout the whole year of balancing those, because once your mind goes, your body goes as well. And but at the end of the day, man, I think we're all resilient. We're all very strong. And, I kept it together. And we kept it together as best as we possibly could in the situation that we're in.
Kelly, this was a season of a lot of promise and third disappointment. What positives do you take away from this?
It can't get any worse. One. And two, it's just like now we can figure out the issues and, fix them and, come back, take this off season, come back stronger, bigger, better, faster, stronger, and, not be in this position again. So when it rains, the sun got to shine one day. So I'm looking forward to sunshine.
For you personally, I guess, how is your knee at this moment?
Good. Just dealing with some tendinosis. Obviously dealing with bruises and hyperextensions and stuff like that. There are like after effects, and when I started to kind of ramp up the recovery process, I just started experiencing some not pains, but some discomfort from kind of back in my high school days, right? Your growing pains, stuff like that. But all that stuff kind of comes back up, when you kind of do something like that. But at this point, I feel pretty good. I'm just looking forward to this off season and going and attacking it head on.
What are
How
the
do you
plans, I
plan
guess, for the off season?
Take some time with my family, of course. Just get my mind back centered, and then just get right to work. I think I missed a lot of time towards the end of the season, so I feel pretty fresh, and I feel like that was that time that I got off of my legs. So I'll just continue my strength and conditioning program, and then as soon as I feel ready, I'm hitting the gym, and I'm gonna just work on my craft.
Are there certain aspects of your game that you really want to kind of focus in on?
Yeah, my shooting, of course, but that comes from my finger is. I had surgery on my thumb, or my pinky, excuse me, and my thumb. But I had surgery on my hand back in my tenure in Charlotte, and just kind of getting into the nuances and the disciplines of just the recovery aspect of getting tendons back together and stuff like that. It's been a struggle for me, but at the end of the day, I do have things set up to where I'll see a hand therapist. I'll get that range of motion back, and just get my confidence up, get a whole lot of reps, and I feel like I'll be better off. But yeah, that's definitely the focal point, just getting up a lot of shots, a lot of threes, and then working on my overall game, my handles, and more reads, more live play this summer for me. Just making sure that the things that I learned this year, which is getting in the paint, creating for others, and creating that synergy, that I come back even better next year doing so.
Kelly, you used some we language to kind of open up today and talking about the team's future. You have the option coming up this summer. Is your hope to be here in Philadelphia next year?
I am a Philadelphia 76er. I'm blessed to be a part of this organization. I'm here in front of you guys right now, so taking it day by day, but also, this is a business, but at the end of the day, I'm happy. And I feel like I like to finish what I start, and I don't feel complete. So, Godspeed. And I'm still here.
Kelly, you've been very complimentary of Coach Nurse in the past. Obviously, this is a much more challenging season for everybody this year. So I guess what was your perspective on how the coaching staff connected with the players and kept people together throughout this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough job. Like, I couldn't do it. So, I tip my hats to those who do that and are faced with that responsibility. But I think they handled it with the best way that they possibly could. I'm not really like into the media, into the blogs and stuff like that. So I don't really see what's said or, coach's media, his media availability, things like that. But at the end of the day, man, just him being a presence, all the coaches always showing us love, helping us out through the tough times and staying that consistent rock for us. I think that, that was a great trait that they all have. Coach has his staff pretty much, on a string, and they compliment us. But it's been a very tough year, obviously. So to have to really dig deep and keep guys' mental straight, keep guys, aware of what's going on, I think they did a really good job. So yeah.
On that note, I know I've asked you about this in the past, but prior to this last little stretch, you were one of the people who was most consistently available.
Mm-hmm.
How different was the day-to-day game prep as you're constantly bringing guys in and trying to get them up to speed? How different was it from in the past, you being one of the guys who knows what the full menu looks like and having to kind of whittle it down to the game?
Yeah. Like I said, man, that's a tough job, but we need players. So, having to bring guys in and out, and having to adjust to playing with new people that you've never played with, it's always tough. But, the great ones find a way. It's not always going to be peaches and cream, but just figuring it out on the fly, right? I think that that's a skill that, I kind of have and, a lot of the other guys kind of have. But at the end of the day, some consistency would be great, but if you don't have that, you have to make it work with what you got. And I think, with all of us in the locker room, I think we all did our best. And, hopefully, like, that's not something you get used to or comfortable with because you want to go to war every night, with the same army. And, but at the end of the day, we're all professionals, man. We have to, put on for the city, put on for the names on the back of our jerseys. And no matter who's out there with us, we go out there and give it our all.
Assuming most of this team comes back next year, do you have enough intel from this season to know what your identity will be next season?
No, I don't. But I'm getting back to myself. I'm bringing the swag back, and all I know is that I'll come back better than I was this year. And I'm going into year 11 in my career, so it's a blessed to still be here. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not satisfied with the way I'm perceived by you guys, the fans, for what I do bring to the NBA. So, Tsunami's back.
Kelly, just one more thing. Last couple of questions. Consistency in the lineup for so long. You had that opportunity to really kind of shine as a leader in that scenario. Do you think that kind of tested your leadership and helped you grow in that area this year?
Absolutely. I was pushed throughout the whole year of finding my voice, finding that. But just showing up consistently, going hard, I pray it does, but I think it inspires the younger guys coming into this league. And that's all I want to do is inspire, allow people to realize who they are. And I think so. I had a rough stretch where I came off the bench for a little bit because I wasn't making the right reads, making plays, and doing the things that I was asked of. But I quickly adjusted and adapted to that, got better, played better, got back to where I felt like I deserved. And then, just continuously didn't take any days for granted and, didn't take this game for granted. But, so I think that definitely helped me become a leader, but I'm a natural leader. So just finding my voice on a new team. This is only my second year here. And it took some time, but I think it worked out.
Kelly, I guess
Last
as a
question.
teammate, how tough was it to see Joe kind of labor through the 19 games he played, and unfortunately was just ruled out? How tough was that as a teammate?
He's a soldier, man. I mean, he's been battling stuff his whole career, even, at Kansas, right? So just to see him kind of try to tough it out, fight through things, I think that goes to his character and who he is as a person. So I'm just praying for him. I'm here for him throughout his recovery. I know I'll see him in the summer. And then I know that he's doing everything that he possibly can to get back to where he was because he's a competitor. He wants to be the best. And, as we all want him to be the best version of himself that he can be. So, yeah, man, Godspeed to his recovery, man. And I pray that he takes the proper steps to get back to being himself. But, yeah, man, he fights lions and tigers and bears, and he can conquer whatever he's going through right now.